My beloved child, stand still for a moment and listen with the deepest awareness. For the words I am about to speak are not a gentle invitation, not a soft comfort, but a decree from eternity. This is not a moment you can overlook or postpone the way you do with the small details of your day. This is an hour etched into the heart of the everlasting, a moment of awakening sealed in heaven's calendar long before you first saw the light of this world. And now I, the one who sees through all things, the one who searches the hidden places, the one who holds the rhythm of all creation, am placing my hand upon your soul and saying, my child, the time has come for me to call you out of the old path, out of the old patterns, out of the familiar cycles, and into a life wholly belonging to me. This is not advice, this is a marking, not a suggestion, but the majestic summons of heaven. You do not see it yet, but in the unseen realm, everything is shifting. Frequencies are changing. Old doors are closing. New doors are preparing to swing open at the exact appointed rhythm. I see the movements your natural eyes cannot detect. I see the shift in the spiritual atmosphere around you, subtle yet sharp currents. Gentle vibrations signaling a new season. Whispers like the footsteps of angels moving into place. The world notices outward change, but I see what is turning within your soul. You think you are only a bit unsettled, only thinking more than usual, only feeling more sensitive than normal. But in truth, this is the hour of awakening, knocking upon the walls of your heart. You are hearing the echo of eternity. I have prepared this hour for a long time. There were years in which I allowed you to walk small paths so you would learn endurance. There were seasons where I brought you face to face with yourself so you would learn humility. There were nights when silence covered you so you could learn to hear my voice in the stillness. And there were days when I placed you at crossroads so you could learn to choose by my spirit. None of this was random. These were the steps leading to this very moment. A moment where I intend to awaken the whole of your being, body, mind, and spirit. I want you to rise not by sheer willpower, but by the understanding that you are stepping into what I have ordained. I want you to tremble not with fear, but with the awareness of the majesty of this summons. Look back over the recent years of your life. There are things you tried to hold on to, yet they quietly wore down. There are dreams you carried that have gone still. There are patterns you once thought were fine, but now no longer sit peacefully in you. This is not decline, it is preordained shifting. When I prepare to move you into a different era, I always make the old space too small to contain your soul. I do not let you cling to what no longer carries life. I do not allow you to soothe yourself with things that were once enough but no longer fit your destiny. Your recent discomfort is not failure, it is calling. You must understand this deeply. Not every shaking is a trial. Some shakings are my warnings. Not every discomfort is an attack. Some discomforts are signs that I am breaking old roots so you can step into the new. Not every dryness is defeat. Some dryness is my voice saying, it is time to move. And this is precisely what I am doing in you now. I will not allow the old normal to lull you to sleep. I will not allow false stability to deceive you. I will not allow familiar rhythms to trap you in a place where my light has already moved on. You are being summoned into a stage where I do not merely speak, I command. You do not merely hear, you must respond. You do not merely feel, you must rise. This is not the moment for you to ask, why now? This is the moment for you to say, I am ready to step in, for the hour written in the heart of eternity has struck. And when that hour arrives, no force of darkness can delay it, no obstacle can block it, and no fear can override what I have spoken. I look into you deeper than you have ever looked into yourself. I see realms of light you have not yet discovered. I see capacities you believed extinguished. I see promises you folded away. I see a flame you think is weak, though it is merely waiting for my breath to ignite again. You see the tired parts, but I see the parts destined to rise. You see the wounds that made you cautious, but I see those wounds becoming fertile soil for my new work. You see detours, I see the destination. Listen to me with the focus of one standing at the threshold between two worlds. For the words I am about to speak are not only to remind you, but to awaken a deeper tier of awareness within your spirit. I am calling you into awakeness, an awakeness that does not come from effort, but from light. Awake so that the dying habits of the old season do not pull you backward while I am moving you forward. Awake so that my voice remains distinguishable amid the noise that swirls around you each day. Awake so that you do not confuse the safety of the familiar with the fullness of destiny. Awake so that you recognize the signals I am using to call you out of the expired silence. Awake to discern between my voice steady, peaceful, authoritative, and the voice of fear that always seeks to bind your feet. And awake so that when I open a new path, you walk in step, neither lagging behind nor rushing ahead of the time I have appointed. You have walked a long journey, and that journey was not wasted. But it is not where you are meant to stop. The things that once belonged to you have finished their purpose. The memories, the burdens, the thought patterns you have carried for so many years are now meant to be set down. What you believed would stay with you forever was sometimes only appointed for a short season. And when that season ends, clinging to it only slows your soul. You cannot step into the life that belongs to me while holding tightly to things designed only for a temporary stage. I did not call you to live halfway, nor to survive day by day. I called you to live fully in my intention, deeper than you imagined, wider than you knew, and stronger than you dared believe. Listen closely. What I speak is not a warning of danger, it is a warning of destiny. I awaken the moment written in eternity's heart not to frighten you, but to prepare your soul to stand in the position heaven has assigned to you. When I call you away from the old path, I am not taking from you, I am giving you something better, brighter, more enduring. When I speak with a voice of majesty, it is not the voice of one who wants you trembling, but the voice of one who knows your destination and is leading you toward the land that has long been waiting for you. Hold this as a seal upon your heart. You have arrived at the right hour. You are standing at the right point. You are positioned in the precise place within the timeline I have designed. Not a second late, not a step early. Everything is aligned with heaven's timing. I am calling you, not from afar, but from very near. Respond not with fear, but with the readiness of someone who knows they are stepping into a new chapter, one that is unfolding right under your feet, even now. According to the rhythm I set for you before all ages. Come closer, for what I am about to tell you requires an inner stillness, a stillness deep enough for your soul to discern the boundary between what is true and what is false, between light and illusion, between my voice and the echo of your own fears. I will speak plainly, without circling, without covering, because this is the moment when you need truth more than comfort. Yet within every severe word of mine, you will feel tenderness surrounding you, like the arm of a father placed upon your shoulder. So you will know that I have not come to burden you, but to steady you. You are in a season where every false layer within you will be peeled back, not to wound you, but to restore you to the true design I placed within you. I will not allow you to continue confusing what feels okay with what is quietly draining your soul. I will not let you chase false stability simply because it is familiar. I separate truth from deception within you, like the sharp blade of my spirit. Yet I do it within complete protection. You may tremble, but you will not be abandoned. You may struggle, but you will not be consumed. You will feel me as both firm and near, both sharp and warm, because I want you to grow strong in the right way. Not strong by tightening your will, but strong by becoming true. You must understand that in this season, the things you once relied on will begin to shake, not because you are failing, but because I am leading you away from the wrong foundations. The praise you once needed will no longer satisfy. The people you once leaned on will fade from view. The situations you tried to hold together will slip through your fingers, no matter how tightly you grasp. I do not do this to punish. I do it to free you from what kept you standing still. I know there are things you believe you need, but the truth is, you only needed them to fill a void I intend to fill myself. I see how tired you are from sustaining rhythms that no longer fit you. I see your heart stretched thin trying to maintain the image you think others expect. I see the ways you sacrificed your inner truth to preserve an outer peace that was never real. And I cannot allow you to continue like this. For the hour of awakening has come. When I remove the old, you may feel unsteady, but that is me clearing a path. When I make the familiar no longer fit, you may feel confused, but that is me lifting you higher. When I compel you to face what you used to avoid, you may tremble, but that is me bringing you into the maturity I ordained. I want to speak to you with unfiltered truth. There are parts of you that have lived too long in self-defense. You have not been living truly. You have been living in ways that ensure no one is disappointed. No one rejects you. No one adds more pain. You learned to stay silent when you wanted to speak, to smile when you wanted to cry, to stand strong when you should have leaned. I have seen every moment you were exhausted but did not dare sigh because you feared others would see weakness. I have seen every moment you hid your confusion beneath busyness. I have seen every moment you pretended to be fine so no one would worry. But now, I speak with the seriousness of a decree: you cannot carry that false strength into the new season. It is not enough to keep you alive, and even less enough to carry you into the life that belongs to me. I love you too much to let you continue with borrowed strength. I love you too much to let fear decide your future. I love you too much to let you remain confined within structures I did not build. You will feel the seriousness of my voice not in its harshness, but in its clarity. I will not allow you to act your way through life without realizing it. I will not let you avoid the truth while believing you are at peace. I will not allow you to use work, emotions, or fleeting connections to cover the very things I am trying to reveal. I will stand before you, place my hand upon your chest, and say, look honestly at what is happening inside. I do not come to condemn. I come to illuminate. I do not come to shame you. I come to rescue you from the false layers that are suffocating your life. I do not come to demand perfection. I come to return you to the truth of who you are, where you and I can meet without any barrier. And you will see my truth, though sharp, always carries peace. My seriousness, though strong, always carries warmth. My warnings, though weighty, always come with a path already opened. I am wrapping my arms around you now, not to keep you still, but to keep you from falling as I separate you from what is not real. You will feel a support that is gentle yet steady, as though invisible arms are holding your soul. You will feel a strength that does not come from effort but from knowing you do not have to peel away the old layers by yourself. I will peel them with you. I will walk with you into every truth. I will heal every wound with you, and I will rise with you into the power you never imagined you carried. You do not walk alone. You do not face this alone. You do not enter this new season alone. I am touching you with both firmness and tenderness, so you will not only know the truth, but have the courage to follow it into its fullness. Come closer still, because now I want to take you into the deepest place where there is no noise, no fear, no repeating questions echoing in your mind. This is not a warning, nor a hurried call. This is the counsel of a father standing with you before a great river of destiny. I know you are tired from the long journey. I know you do not want to fail. I know you long to live rightly, but sometimes do not know where to begin. That is why I speak to you with a tone that is deep, gentle, and strong enough to anchor your soul before you step into deeper waters. You do not need to force yourself to become anything. You only need to let my words sink into you like light descending to the riverbed, showing you the solid ground beneath your feet, not to make you afraid, but to prepare you, not to hold you back, but to lead you forward, not to press you down, but to open your heart to the living truth I am placing in your hands. What I speak now will become the anchor holding you steady as you cross to the other side. You must understand that this transition will not resemble anything you have known before. It will not arrive like a storm, loud and violent. It will come like dawn, quiet yet unstoppable. You will feel a deep layer within you begin to open, like the ground parting softly for a new seedling to rise. That is the true life I am calling you into. No longer living to please others. No longer living in fear. No longer living through old habits. No longer living to avoid the truth inside you. No longer living behind the strong shell you created to survive. You will begin to live by the breath I placed in you. Live by the rhythm I lead. Live by the truth without dilution. And to do this, you must dare to look at yourself with the same gentleness I am giving you now. Let me tell you this, what holds you back is not a great darkness, but the small things you think don't matter. You tolerate minor misalignments, small compromises, tiny fears, and together they form a fog that keeps you from seeing the direction I am opening. I do not blame you, because you have only been doing what you knew. But now, I want you to live by what I see. Learn to pause for a moment when your heart feels heavy and ask me, is this the true way? Learn to look into your own reactions, because they are the voice of your soul. Learn to let me guide you by the inner peace, not by the outer rush. And remember, the peace that comes from me is never vague. It is clear in its gentleness. When you feel that lightness, that is the sign you are on the right step. Be ready to release the things that feel harmless but no longer carry life. There are connections you keep out of courtesy. There are old thoughts you keep because they are familiar. There are reasons you invent to delay transformation. I want you to look at them directly, not with self-blame, but with understanding that you deserve something better. You were created to live full, not small. To live bright, not dim. To live true, not in the shadows of your past. You do not need to know the whole future to release the present. You only need to know that I am leading you. And I am truly leading you. I am standing right beside you, not far away. My child, let your heart soften, for softness does not make you weak, it makes you ready. Softness allows me to place my hand upon the places you once locked away. Softness allows you to receive new direction without resistance. Softness helps you hear what is spiritual within the most ordinary things. Softness helps you see the path right beneath your feet that your eyes once overlooked. When you are soft, you can step forward. When you are hardened, you only stand still. And this is a season for stepping lightly, yet decisively. Unrushed, yet not slow. Unhurried, yet not delayed. For when I open the way, moving too slowly is also a form of missing it. Carry this word with you as your final provision. Before crossing the river, you do not cross by your own strength, but by the direction I give you. The waters you fear are only deep when you look at them with natural eyes. But when you look through my word, you will see that the other shore is not as far as you think. You will see that the current is not as strong as you imagined. You will see my hand waiting ahead of you. I do not call you to the other side to leave you drifting in the middle. I call you across because I have long prepared a new shore for you, filled with true life, true freedom, and true light. You need only one first step, a step of trust, a step of truth, a step of awakening. Step forward, for I am here. Walk on, for you no longer belong to the old shore. live. For real life is waiting on the other side of the water, and I will walk with you, step by step. Let your breath slow. For what I speak to you now is not meant to stir your mind, but to sink into the quietest places of your soul, places you rarely sit still enough to revisit, rarely brave enough to open, rarely gentle enough to touch. I want you to enter a stillness the world cannot create, a peace that does not come from circumstance, but from my presence, standing right beside you. In that stillness, your layers of defense begin to dissolve. Your daily worries fall away like old leaves, and the things you thought you had buried rise not to hurt you again, but so I may heal them completely. You have lived strong for so long that you have forgotten you are allowed to be tired, allowed to be weak, allowed to let go. And I want you to know that in my arms, you do not need to perform anything. You do not need to stand tall or hide anything. You only need to be true. You only need to let your heart open little by little, like soil breaking under rain, not to be wounded, but to let new life seep in. In the days when you feel unclear about what is happening inside you, I want you to understand that it is not chaos, it is transformation. You think you are losing direction, but you are merely leaving an old path to step into something larger. You think you are growing weaker, but I am drawing out energies that were never meant to stay in your soul. You think you are losing focus, but I am pulling you away from things that no longer carry light. When transformation takes place in the deep layers, it does not sound like thunder. It moves quietly, like a river changing the color of its bed. You must be calm enough to see it. This change is happening for you, not against you. I am rearranging the pieces within you according to a new order, an order of truth, of light, of life that you were always meant to live in. I will gently remove every weight you no longer need, every habit that clouds your soul, every old word that made you doubt yourself, and I will replace them with roots that are stronger, deeper, calmer. Let me lead you into the small corners of your heart that you have long been afraid to face. There are fears you keep like secrets because you believe that if you open them, you will lose the fragile peace you hold. There are old memories you locked away because you feared they would burden you again. There are words others spoke over you that slowly made you shrink back, little by little, until you began believing you were unworthy to be seen, to be loved, to be valued. You do not realize that those small things have caused your heart to contract and your soul to hide itself in a dark room. But I have come to open that room. I have come to reignite the flame you thought had died out. I have come to tell you that you no longer need to live in cramped corners. When I touch the places that were forgotten, you will notice that what rises first is not pain, but relief, not fear expanding, but truth illuminating, not darkness spreading, but light returning, like sunlight entering a room long covered in dust. Do you know why I always come with gentleness before I do something great? Because the human soul only opens in gentleness. My turnings within your soul always begin with a soft touch, an unusual peace, a breath released, a small yet undeniable sense of safety. When you begin to feel that safety, the armor you have worn for so many years begins to fall away, piece by piece. This does not expose you to harm, it frees you. I want you to stand before me without any role to perform, without any persona to protect, without any tension to maintain. That alone is healing. For when you are true, I can touch you truly. When you no longer hide, I can reach the exact place that needs my hand. When you stop trying to be strong, I can become your strength. My child, let me speak to you about the true life I am leading you into. True life is not a life without challenges, but a life in which, within every challenge, you know to whom you belong. It is not a life without weariness, but a life in which, within every moment of exhaustion, You know there is a place to lean. It is not a life without upheaval, but a life in which, within every disturbance, you have a steady point to return to. When you live in this true life, you are no longer carried away by outside opinions, nor shaken by things that are temporary. You stand in my truth, and therefore you are at peace. You stand in my perspective, and therefore you see clearly. You stand under my covering, and therefore you remain steadfast. This is the life I want you to experience, not occasionally, but daily, rhythm by rhythm, breath by breath. You are entering a season in which I am not only healing the wounds of your past, but also healing the way you see yourself. You have grown accustomed to looking at yourself through the lens of your failures, your stumbles, the criticisms spoken by others, and the limits you once believed could never be broken. But I do not look at you the way you look at yourself. I see you through what I have placed in you, through what I have destined for you, through what I am still writing within you. When I look, I do not see lack, I see potential. I do not see fatigue, I see strength waiting to be called forth. I do not see delay, I see ripening timing. I do not see weakness, I see softness that I can shape into purpose. And when I say you are beautiful in my eyes, it is not a vague spiritual saying, it is heaven's truth. Open your heart a little more, because I want to give you a kind of peace no circumstance can take away. This peace does not come because everything turns out well, but because you know I am there. It does not come because you are in control, but because you know I am. It does not come because you avoid pain, but because even in pain, you are never outside my hands. This peace is not loud, not thrilling, not dazzling. It is like deep water, like morning mist, like a small lamp in a dark room. You will feel it in moments you thought you would collapse. And when you feel it, you will know I am closer than ever. Let me pour this word into you like warm water sinking straight into your roots. You are not alone. You have never been alone. In the nights when you turned from side to side, unable to sleep, I was there. In the afternoons when you sat quietly staring at the sky without knowing why your heart was heavy, I was there. In the moments when you buried your face in your hands because you could not bear one more day, I was there. In the times when you smiled politely though your heart felt hollow, I was there. In the seconds when you pretended to be fine so no one would worry, I was there. I see everything you hide, and I love every part you think is unlovable. I embrace the places you feel ashamed of. I heal the places you think are broken. I rebuild the places you feel are empty. And I call you out of the loneliness you once believed you would never escape. Now stand up in a new kind of life. You do not need to be strong immediately. You do not need to shine instantly. You do not need to be fully mature all at once. You only need to be real. You only need to be open. You only need to let me lead. You do not have to lift yourself. I will lift you. You do not have to hold everything together. I will hold you. You do not have to carry the weight alone. I will share it. You do not have to prove anything. You only need to step in. I will take care of the rest. Thank you for listening to this message. Know that you are not merely an audience. You are someone chosen to live in the presence of God's Word every day. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss any sacred message. Amen.